Greetings and welcome to the Neuroscience Block. We are now embarking on a new 3-week mission to explore neurological health and well-being in the space environment. And this is the 6th of our physiology-based blocks. It will take place during Discovery Weeks 2022, but please check your timetable for the relevant dates. There'll only be one spacewalk which you can work through at your own pace. There'll also be a meet an expert session, and if you need to check this video again, you can find it on Canvas at any time. As usual, there is some preparation required for the mission run table and debrief, so please check the allocations on Canvas for the musculoskeletal block recaps. And please have a look at the tutorial activities in advance and come ready to participate in discussion. With regard to assessment, your final written report is due no later than Sunday of week 22, Discovery Week 22 that is, and your final e-portfolio reflective piece is due to be submitted no later than the Sunday of week 25. But also to be aware that there is a peer review component which is due 1 week later. You should be aiming to continue recording 2 short reflections for your e-portfolio. The first to support your written report and the second to support your final e-portfolio reflective piece. And a reminder about the spin-off resources which are available via the tile on the Mission 7 homepage. The layout of this block is the same as previous blocks in terms of the tabs on the homepage and then the tiles for the activities during the block. And the to-do list has your tasks on one side and a reminder about the key dates on the other side. For inspiration and extension, we have a set of beautiful posters for you to have a look at, and you're able to download those via the NASA website, and then a whole list of extension resources for you. With the spacewalk, the overview is also laid out in the normal way. So we have introduction, the aims, which are your learning objectives, explore, which is your resources, discuss, which is an opportunity to reflect and review any additional activities to reinforce your learning, and then extra resources. The learning outcomes, there are a number of these, including to appreciate the key neurological effects of spaceflight, why space motion sickness occurs and how it manifests itself, how spaceflight affects the vestibular system and the implications of this, the impact of spaceflight on the special senses, the fluid shifts and changes in intracranial pressure that occur in microgravity, spaceflight-associated neuroocular syndrome, key issues in behavioural health and well-being, and appreciate that creativity might be an important survival skill. The learning resources are arranged into tabs. So the first one is Neuroscience, the brain in space. The second one, Space Motion Sickness. Next one, Vestibular and Sensory Motor Responses. Next, Special Senses, then Fluid Shifts, Intracranial Pressure and Vision Problems, and finally, Behavioural Health and Wellbeing. And there are some quiz questions integrated into some of those little slideshows. With the discussion points on Padlet, there are 3 questions specific to this block, and then the normal 3 general questions. Really encourage you to respond to those and share your thoughts with your fellow students. With the review questions, as I mentioned, there are some quiz questions incorporated with the Explore tab resources, and you can also find the answers for the special activities from the musculoskeletal block on renal stone risk to astronauts and microgravity effects on human physiology, skeletal system you can download those via Canvas. With the extra resources, neuroscience is one of the most heavily researched areas in space health. So there are actually 6 separate pages set up for you to have a look at. These resources are completely optional, but there's a number of things for you to choose from, including online links, journal articles, videos. So we have Neuroscience, the Brain in Space, Vestibular and Sensory Motor Responses, Special Senses, Fluid Shifts, Behavioural Health and Wellbeing, and finally Creativity. For our Meet an Expert block, we're very fortunate to have Dr. Mark Rosenberg, who is a neurologist with a long-standing interest in neuroscience in space. You can find his biography on Canvas, and please check your timetable for the date of the session. And as usual, there is a discussion Padlet, and I would encourage you to fill that in and participate in sharing of ideas with your fellow students. Reminder again about the spin-off resources for you to have a look through and utilise for your final assignment. For the tutorial, we'll start with another NASA inspirational video, then the recap for the musculoskeletal block. So please have a look at the allocations and instructions in advance and be ready to present if you are one of the people listed. Then small group discussion of a number of brainstorming tasks and the debrief for the musculoskeletal block. For our small group discussion, we're going to be talking about 3 really interesting points. The first is the biophilia hypothesis, and that is thinking about how the natural environment is important for the well-being of humans. The second point, coping with isolation and confinement, and you've all had experience of that during the pandemic, so you should have some thoughts to share. And finally, can creativity help you to survive? Then we'll finish off with the debrief for the musculoskeletal block. So thinking about how the lessons from research into musculoskeletal health in space can be applied or translated to help human health here on Earth. Then what was good, what was maybe not so good, and what you think could be improved. So if you have any constructive suggestions. So that's all for now, and I will look forward to seeing you all soon. Thank you.